Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing today? Well, I'm going to probably take this bar off like it was suggested by one of my viewers. I haven't checked my videos since last night, so I have no idea if I got any more comments as to at which time I'm making this video, which is about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, because I don't go on the computer until later on, unless the weather's bad, then I go on earlier. These are the screwdrivers that I was saying that you put a wrench on, and they're called Bolstered screwdriver set from Harbor Freight, and I got a 20% off coupon. These were on sale. Nice heavy duty screwdrivers. I wouldn't expect high quality, but I was looking at the reviews, and the reviews look pretty good, but then when I keep going through the reviews, and the older reviews gave real bad ratings because they said that these nuts that are on here, you know, these where you put a wrench on, are not connected to the shank. They're just molded into the plastic. If that's the case, that's going to be very bad. I'll tell you how we're going to test to find out. And a very simple test, and you guys got an ohm meter, you can do it very easily. Put an ohm meter lead here and here, and if you get continuity, that means this is connected to this. If it's molded into the plastic, they'll be open from here to here. So we're going to open this up, and we're going to make that test right now. Okay. Now, like I say, I got these screwdrivers from Harbor Freight because they have this nut on the end of the handle that you can put a wrench on and get extra torque to remove a screw. Okay, now the reviews on these were good, but then when I kept scrolling through the older reviews, they were not good, and a lot of people say that the nut is just molded into the plastic handle and therefore serves no purpose really. In other words, you only got the strength of the plastic. So there's a way of trying this out, and that's simply to measure the resistance between here and here. If, for instance, this was molded into the plastic, there should be no continuity between here and the blade. It doesn't guarantee that it's properly fastened to the shank. It only proves by measuring the resistance between these 2 points here, and you get continuity, means that this is connected to here, but it could just be slipped over the end of this shank. We don't know that unless you want to butcher one up and take it apart to see. So we're going to find out right now whether or not these nuts that are on the end here where you put your wrench on is simply molded into the plastic and not connected to the handle, or the shank I should say, or is it actually part of the shank? I'm hoping it's part of the shank. So using an ohm meter, and I'm going to use one of my good meters here. This happens to be my true RMS meter, but we got it set on ohms. And when you short the leads together, we're gonna start testing now. The first thing I'm going to do is hold the two leads together to check for 0 ohms. Okay, so we'll take the leads and hold them right here, and we're getting 0.2 ohms, 0.2, 0.3. All right. Okay, now we'll take the smaller screwdriver. We'll put one lead here, I hope you can see this, and we go to the other lead. Okay, 0.2, 0.3. Very hard for me to see that as I'm reading it upside down. Okay, 0.2, 0.3. Okay, so we have continuity, which means that the nut on the end of this is connected to the shank. Now let's take the biggest one we got here and do the same thing. Yeah. Very hard for me to hold this. You really need to put clip leads on this thing. Okay, so I'm pressing hard, and about 0.2, 0.3, 0.4 thereabouts. So all intents and purposes, these are connected to the shank. All right. So that is reassuring. Let me put this down on the volts and turn it off. That's reassuring that I can put a wrench on this. I wouldn't do that unless I really had to anyways. Now these have the black tip on it, which would seem to indicate that they're hardened, but I don't think they are. When I was doing my electronics, I used to use Exolite tools, and you get an Exolite screwdriver that has a black tip on it, it's hardened. I've still got a couple of them in my toolbox, and they're still good as the day I bought them. But I've had pretty good luck with the cheap giveaway Harbor Freight screwdrivers. Of course, I don't beat on them, I use them for normal use. And they're freebies, so if I break them, I'm not too worried about it. So this is a good set. But the handles, as some of the reviewers have said, are not fat, so you really can't get a good torque on them like some of the other screwdrivers that have a bigger handle on them. But if you need to put a wrench on them, this is the set to use. So, all right. Well, that's it. We're going to move on to this XL2 chainsaw and see if I can get the chain off. And getting the chain off is not a problem. It's getting it on again. But at least I got the hole plugged in the gas canister.
Okay, now, I don't know how good you're going to be able to see that. But there goes. I hate taking this thing off because it's an awful job getting back on. 16ths. Need an end wrench to get in there. But that didn't take long to get dirty. Of course, the book says it's supposed to be an arrow. Put it this way. Well, there is no arrow on this one. There is no arrow. I just compared it with the one he had over there. No.
Well, looking in here, there seems to be oil. There seems to be oil. I'm not looking forward to getting this back in again. All right, let's try it again. It's wet with oil. Now, I am not sure. This is the only hole right here. And then on this side there's a hole. So that must be what he's talking about. I got a nail here. It don't go all the way through, of course. I have no idea if it's clear or not. I guess we'll put some carburetor cleaner in there and try it. But before we do that, let's measure on camera the length of this bar. Okay, 15 inches from here to the tip right here. One of this part here, 15 inches. So if you was to measure the chain, because the chain stretches, it would read 16 inches. So it's either a 16-inch chain, or if they read downward, if you got a 15-inch bar, it's a 14-inch chain. That's kind of misleading. I guess the only real way is to take the bar and chain into a place like Home Depot, I guess, or Lowe's. We only got one place that works on chainsaws in the area, and they're very, very, very expensive. And most of the time they're closed. So we don't have places around here that do that sort of thing. Years ago there used to be, the hardware store used to do it, but that's about 20 years ago. They used to rebuild carburetors. They did that in my old Generac generator. But that was good 20 years ago or more. Alright, so this bar measures from this point right here where this nail is pointing to the tip is 15 inches. Alright, so it's either a 14-inch chain, a 15-inch chain, or a 16-inch chain. Alright, now over to here. See, we're getting some oil in here, but not a lot. I gotta clean that all back out again. Okay, this hole don't go all the way through, so we're gonna spray that. We gotta back off a little bit. Alright, other than WD-40, which is not really good for that, I got some sewing machine oil. We'll just stick it in here, and maybe if it's clogged, it'll kind of like get it going. And then in this little tiny hole here where you put a needle oiler in, try to get some in there too. And then we'll flip it over and do the same here. And the same here. Now, so there's no way to tell if this is clogged or not, because somewhere I had a nail here. It's probably on the ground like everything else. I stuck a nail in here. It don't go all the way through. It's only to the first layer. So if the oil don't come out and it sits in here and it don't go any further, like I say, I'll just oil this, I'll just oil the hell out of it. I gotta try to get this back in, and that is not gonna be easy. So I'm not even gonna do that on camera. Well, I'll come back when this bar is all mounted back in. And somebody said about the wear on the bottom of the top. I can't really tell. I don't want to take this chain off. It's kind of hard to get on. What I had to do, and it was off camera, believe me, I was very aggravated trying to get this chain back on. And I came up with an idea. I put the chain on the bar, held it down flat on the table, and then put a cable tie around here to hold it on. And I had it tilted up, of course, on a block of wood, so it would stay in one place. And with a 7/16 deep well socket, I'm able to snug it up and adjust it. There is no oil coming on the chain at all. I put some bar and chain oil on in a squirt can, one of them oil cans, and soaked the whole thing down. And that seems to work. The problem with the saw is it's up to high speed, and it will idle, but when you give it the gas, it dies right out. If you play around with it and go, you can usually get it up, but if you just chomp down on it, it shall die right out. So I managed to just try to cut a little log over here. This dead thing here. I tried to do an undercut too, but I'm very inexperienced with this, so it seemed to cut all right. The chain needs to be changed, but I managed to get the chain on, as I said, provided I used a cable tie to hold the chain on the bar. Then, using my little oil can here, I put a lot of oil in the on the bar and the chain and everything, and then I got a little sharp little needle nose on this thing here, and I stuck it in that little needle hole and squirted oil in that too. So I'll get this hung back up here. So I can live with that. So that's the story for today. So it's not bad. It does what I want it to do. And all this oil you see here is from the, I put a lot of oil on the chain and everything. You can see it on the bar and everything. But that's oil that I squirted on there. That's not coming out of the hole there. There's almost no oil coming out. So I'm not going to worry about it. I had an electric one time. I can't remember what brand it was. I gave it to a good friend of mine. And it had a pump oiler. You just push the pump like that. You put 30 weight oil in it and you pump it and it goes on the chain. Hey, that works, so why not just squirt oil on the chain? It works perfectly. So, all right. Another fella told me to measure from the base to here, and that's your chain length. So I just checked the computer a little while ago, since my last, earlier part of this video was made. Because I took a break. I had a hard time getting this bar and chain on there. The bar I can put on, but I couldn't get the chain to go in there because it's a restricted area in here. But with this little idea of putting a cable tie on here and then bringing the whole assembly in there, that worked out to my advantage. And of course my reading glasses that I need. Okay, so I can probably show you, if I can get Tommy out here to hold the camera, you can see how the saw runs. Well, it doesn't run good. Okay, well, this has already been running, so we're going to try it a half choke here. See what I mean? It won't stay running though. Let's try it again. I wonder if somebody told me that that's a vent that I plugged up, but that don't seem to make any difference. It's on half choke, and it was running, so. Well, I don't know. Maybe full choke. I'll go half. No. Oh well. Well, thank you for watching. I guess probably if I go to maybe Benny's or something, get a pull-in or something for $100 if I ever wanted to, instead of farting around with this thing. You know, it's got to have a safety tip on it anyways. I feel very uncomfortable without the safety tip. So that's it. Too much pulling. It was working, but now it's not. Okay, thank you for watching. This is it on the chainsaw series here. We're going to do other videos, so thanks again for watching. Have a good day.